Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to another Knicks Media live stream. It's been a while since I've been live on this channel, and I thought, hey, we got some breaking, unfortunate news about the Knicks, and we also are on a three-game win streak. So we got some positive news to talk about, and we have some negative news to talk about. So the positive news is that the New York Knicks are indeed on a three-game win streak, and they are now one game under 500 with a record of 17 and 18. We're taking care of business on the road like we're supposed to be doing. And the unfortunate news for the Knicks is Julius Randle is out with COVID, the latest Knick to be added to the protocol. Now, this is definitely a big deal for the Knicks. I see some Knicks fans on Twitter making this into a good thing. I'm here to tell you that is completely false. I really it really hurts my heart seeing Knicks fans out there like rooting for players on our own team to get COVID. You know, they have a family. Randall's got a newborn out there. Like, this is serious stuff. So hopefully Randall's okay. He can get back healthy on the Knicks as soon as possible. But now the big question is, who's going to step up in the place of Julius Randle? I think we know who it's going to be, Obi Toppin. Unless Tom Thibodeau pulls this where I don't even want to bring it up, but hey, it is possible. We never know with Tom Thibodeau. If he brings in Taj Gibson to start over Obi Toppin, I'm going to be pretty upset. Obi Toppin deserves to get the minutes right now. The only way that Obi Toppin needed to get the playing time is if Randall was going to go down with an injury or a rest day or COVID. And here we are today with Randall on the COVID list. And I think this is going to be a good opportunity, though, for Obi Toppin. If you guys remember, when the Knicks had so many people out with COVID, the one thing that was good about it, just in terms of players not being able to play, is it gives an opportunity for guys to step in. We saw Deuce McBride get big-time playing time when he was healthy and everybody else had COVID, and he had a great game. Quentin Grimes, all these guys that never really get opportunities. So now Obi Toppin is going to be handed the starting power forward job. I'm assuming it's not confirmed that he's going to start, but it's going to be crazy to see what happens with Obi Toppin. So guys, welcome into the stream. I never really go live this time during the day. I'm excited for it. It's been a while since I've been live on Knicks Media. Welcome in. Make sure you hit that like button for your boy. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. All that great things. And I see you guys in the chat. What's good, Jeffrey, Joel? I hope you guys are having a great time, a great day today. So let's talk about the Knicks win streak right now, guys. Let's talk about the Knicks win streak. So, hey, Kelvin's in the chat. What's good, man? Very unique situation. Knicks are winning of people complaining. The games are ugly, but a win is a win. Yeah, Kelvin, I couldn't agree more. A win is indeed a win. We're not really having these games where we have confidence in terms of like after the game where, have a smile on our face, because it is true. The Knicks are not really winning these games the way that we would hope them to. Reversing teams that are depleted with COVID. First the Hawks, then the Timberwolves and the Pistons. All teams had most of their players out with injuries and COVID, and we want them to take care of business. They did it to the Hawks. They blew them out, which was awesome. But the Timberwolves, they let them come back. The Pistons had a 12-point lead. The starters were not playing good at all. So there are some negative things that I understand why Knicks fans are a little upset right now. But at the same time, we're getting the job done. We have to realize that we're winning basketball games, and that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter how you get the dub. It's all that matters is you get the win, and you get that win on the road, and you go home, and then you can get back in the Eastern Conference, because now we're 17 and 18 on the season, and we're right back in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference. That's a big-time positive. So this three-game win streak was not pretty. I feel like the starters are definitely a big issue, and that's not like that's a brand new thing that's happening all of a sudden. The starters have been an issue for this team all year long. The bench always saves the day for the Knicks, but last night was probably the most embarrassing performance from the starters all season long. In that third quarter, we let the Pistons go crazy on us. Luckily, the bench came in and finished off the entire fourth quarter and saved the day thanks to Alec Burks and the defense from Taj Gibson, Obi Toppin, and Emmanuel Quickly and Deuce. All those guys really held their ground and made sure that this Knicks team was not going to lose to the depleted Detroit almost said Lions, the Detroit Pistons. So these three games that we're winning right now in a row is a big-time positive for the Knicks, because we were in a big-time hole. We were 14 and 18 on the year. If you guys remember my videos last week, I said the schedule's getting light right now. We have to take advantage of these games, because this could be a stretch of games on the schedule where we look back on it in April and it was a deciding factor whether we are competing for the Eastern Conference or not. Because the schedule's going to get tough. The schedule was tough to begin the season, and then now we're in a really easy stretch, and we have to take advantage of this because the Eastern Conference is so tight, and luckily for the Knicks, that's exactly what they're doing. So let's get into some individual players I want to talk about that have been playing really good basketball as of late. First, let's talk about Quentin Grimes. As Joel says in the chat, Quentin Grimes, an absolute steal. Yes, indeed, Joel. He is a 25th overall pick, the first rounder out of Houston. He did not have a good game last night. He got the start over Evan Fournier, who was dealing with a sore ankle, and he shot the ball 5 times, all 5 of them from the three-point line, and he did miss all 5 of them. But I love the Quentin Grimes pick. I love the confidence that he shows, and he's definitely showing that he needs to be in this rotation every single day, no matter who's healthy or not. Quentin Grimes is a player that just exuberates confidence, and he is everything that this Knicks team is lacking right now in terms of energy, defensive effort, and three-point shooting. He has such a quick release where whenever Quentin Grimes has an inch of separation, he will shoot the ball, whether it's a catch and shoot opportunity, whether it's a dribble pull up. Everything that the Knicks that Quentin Grimes has been doing for this Knicks team is phenomenal, and I feel like we got another steal in Quentin Grimes, similarly to the steal that we got last year with Emmanuel Quickly, with the same exact pick actually, with the 25th overall selection. And then getting into Deuce McBride, he got his first action after getting off the COVID list last night, and he had such an interesting game. Deuce had 0 points, but finished with a plus minus of a plus 39. That shows you the impact that he has on this court with his energy and his defense and his playmaking, where his offense is not really what makes him a difference maker. But the cool thing is that he still is an offensive threat. We saw flashes of it this year. He can size you up, hit a step-back three-pointer. He can take it to the rack, finish through contact, the floaters. He can do everything offensively, but that's not his game. He's an energy spark. He's a defensive guy, high motor, picks you up full court every single time. And I love everything that I'm seeing from the 2 rookies so far this year, and Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes. And even throw in Jericho Sims in there. Jericho Sims has got a lot of playing time this year. Right now, he's still on the COVID list, but I feel like Jericho has been a big surprise for us as well. So this draft class is looking pretty good, and we have Rokas Diakubaitis all the way overseas, killing it. So shout out to the New York Knicks front office. They've killed it the past 2 drafts. I think Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly are showing off to be home run picks, and then this year's draft class as well. And then you can even go back to the RJ Barrett draft and say that was a hit as well. I think RJ is really, finding his confidence. He's not really playing, the greatest basketball of his career. He was playing with amazing rhythm right before he went on to COVID list. And then, of course, now he's all out of sorts. Last night, he actually led the Knicks in scoring in terms of the bench unit. Compared to the starters. And he didn't get any playing time because the starters were not playing well at all yesterday. So, I love what I'm seeing from the young guys, man. Obi Toppin, let's talk about him. Obi Toppin is going to be somebody that's now going to have to take advantage of this opportunity if he really wants to show to the coaching staff that he deserves minutes, because I think all Knicks fans understand that Obi Toppin has been on a short leash all year, and it really drives me crazy. I feel like he makes one simple mistake in the game and he gets pulled immediately. And yeah, Julius Randle's ahead of him, and he plays all the minutes. He's the heart and soul of the team. He's a leader. But at the end of the day, it's inexcusable for Obi Toppin to only get 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes. He needs to get minimum 20 minutes a game, and now he's going to get this opportunity because we see a different Obi Toppin this year. As we know, rookie season, Obi Toppin did not have the greatest year. We had high expectations for him, college player of the year. He's an older rookie. He's someone that's going to come out here and dominate right away. That's what Knicks fans expected, and it's not what happened. He really was not comfortable. He was trying to find himself, trying to find the speed of the NBA, and then all of a sudden, when the pressure was at its highest in the playoffs, that's when Obi Toppin looked like a different player, and it carried over into year number 2. And now we're seeing Obi Toppin impact the game everywhere. His energy is infectious, runs up and down the court. His defense is amazing. His off-ball movement, cutting to the rim, finishing at the rim, the high flyer, Obi Toppin in between the legs, highlight reel beast. I love Obi Toppin. He's definitely becoming one of my favorite Knicks players. And I think that the deciding factor of Obi Toppin becoming a real star in this league in the future is going to be that three-point shot. He's not been shooting the ball well at all from three-point land this year, but he still shoots them, which I love. I really want Obi to continuously shoot the ball from downtown, because that's how he's going to get confidence in that shot, because you could see his potential. Recently, he's been hitting those. He has a couple back-to-back smooth-looking catch-and-shoot opportunities in the corner where he capitalized on, and I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor if Obi Toppin's going to be a beast or not in this league in terms of stretching the floor, because, his athleticism is through the roof. We know what he brings, and he's been just doing everything you want for the New York Knicks. Now, when it comes to another player off the bench who's coming off a really good game is Immanuel Quickley. IQ, I feel like, is such an underrated piece to this team. His young, energy, his shooting, everything about it. If we remember, right before he went on the COVID list, he had 7 3-pointers, tied the Knicks franchise record. And Immanuel Quickley now is coming off a game where he had a plus minus of a plus. The whole bench had a plus minus of an amazing, and 18 points or something like that. 8 for 8 for the free throw line. Immanuel Quickley is a big time part to this Knicks bench unit, and I'm excited for his development as well, because, we went through a stretch of, wow, the Knicks have everybody on the COVID list, every single young player is on the COVID list, and now we're finally getting healthy. And of course, Randle has to go down right when everyone seems to get healthy, and we're hopeful that they can all get chemistry together, because the big negative with Randle getting on the COVID list, for a lot of reasons, he is the leader of that starting lineup. He's been struggling this year. There's no denying that, but a lot of plays are run through him. And now we wanted Randle to get chemistry with Kemba, get chemistry with RJ and Mitch, and get that chemistry with the starting five, because we're not going to win a lot of games if the starting five does not play that well, because the bench is not going to be able to carry the load all season long. And I was hopeful that, the next couple of games this week, we can get the starting five together, getting that chemistry, the continuity. But unfortunately, he's on the COVID list. So now it's going to be a big opportunity for Obi Toppin, hopefully, to slide into that starting five. Now, some other players I want to talk about, which has been having a really interesting season. Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker, obviously, we all know his situation. He gets benched for 10 games. He comes back, has 4 games in a row where he's playing out of his mind, drops 44 points and near triple-double. Then on Christmas Day, he has a triple-double. And then the last 2 games, he's been doing nothing. I don't know if that's fatigue, because he's playing a lot of minutes when he came back, so I don't know if that's a factor. But Kemba Walker's not been playing good basketball, and I think that's a big reason why the starting five has been playing pretty poor. I really hope that maybe Obi Toppin sliding into the starting five, that Kemba can do the pick and roll with him, and he can get him involved, and Kemba can hit his shots. But Kemba Walker's got to get back to the way he played with those first 4 games after being benched, because he's a different player when that happens, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Mitchell Robinson, man, I think he's been probably the biggest positive of this Knicks team on a consistent basis for the past couple of games. Last night, he didn't really get an opportunity to play because the bench unit was playing so good, where you didn't even need Mitchell Robinson on the court because Taj Gibson was doing everything for us. But what I love about Mitchell Robinson is his absolute resiliency and his dominance in the paint on the offensive glass. Every single time a shot goes up, he's in the paint waiting to bring it down, put back dunks. He also defensively, he brings a different dimension to this defense. Everything about Mitchell Robinson is pure dominance, and I'm happy that he's finally getting in shape and showing off why he has crazy potential in this league, because I saw a lot of Knicks fans saying that he's just someone that's not going to make it in this league. He's overrated. He's lazy and all this stuff. And I'm like, no. When Mitchell Robinson gets in shape again, you're going to be reminded why he was a steal of the draft back when we took him in that second round. He is a guy that is going to be a difference maker for this Knicks team if he can stay healthy. And I'm excited for the development of Mitchell Robinson. And then Alec Burks. Alec Burks coming off a crazy 34-point game, tying a career high for the Knicks last night. Wow. I mean, Alec Burks, I feel like his natural position is off the bench. And he's someone that really holds that bench unit together like glue. Obviously, we know that Derrick Rose is going to be out for quite a while. So I feel like Alec Burks is going to be that guy, that veteran to really hold that young unit together. Taj Gibson as well. So I'm really love what I'm seeing from Alec Burks. He really carried that bench unit last night, hitting clutch shot after clutch shot, getting his teammates involved. I mean, 34 points off the bench. What else do you want from a guy in Alec Burks off the bench? So, guys, I see everybody tuning into the stream right now. Welcome in. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. We got 12 likes with 23 people watching, so make sure you smash that thumbs up button on your way in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, David? Hope you're having a great day. The Quinster, how you doing, my man? I'm doing good. Stay thirst, my friends. What's up, man? You think that Mitch is lazy? I disagree with that. I think Mitchell Robinson's a beast. Mitchell Robinson had foot surgery, and then all offseason, he couldn't do any cardio, so he had to just work on his upper body. He puts on a bunch of weight, but the problem with that is now he's out of shape, because when you have foot surgery, you can't do any cardio, can't do any conditioning. So he had to start off the season a little slow, And now he's shredding some weight, and now he's getting back to his explosive self. And I'm excited to see what Mitchell Robinson can do. I don't think Mitchell Robinson's lazy at all. What up, James? C-Mac, David, what up, my man? Kelvin says, Richie, Burks definitely plays better with the Rat Pack. RJ Barrett also plays better with them. Yeah, I agree. I do agree that RJ Barrett does play better with them. He doesn't really connect with the starters, which is kind of frustrating. I really hope that RJ can continuously stay aggressive. He played a good game last night. Obviously, the plus-minus was terrible for him, but that was just the collective unit around him just collapsed. RJ needs to stay aggressive and attack the rim, finish through contact, and his shots. I feel like now that Randle's especially out, I feel like this is all about RJ Barrett taking over that starting lineup in terms of scoring. RJ's still the second leading scorer on this team, and he needs to take over and say, okay, now this is my team because Julius Randle's down with COVID. I got to be able to be the guy that steps up in his place and score at least 20 points a game if we want to stay in these games. We got, an opponent in the OKC Thunder coming up, which are a young, pesky team. Pretty sure didn't they beat us early in the season, unfortunately? But this is a really big opportunity for the Knicks to take advantage of these bad teams. And that's exactly what we've been doing, guys. This should be a positive stream. 3-game win streak. We're living high. We're 1 game away from finally getting back to 500. But the bad news is Julius Randle going on the COVID list right when everybody seems to be getting healthy. Of course, the leader of the team has got to go down with COVID. I really hope. I agree, James. RJ's still in the midst of, finding himself. He has that mama mentality. I really do think he does. And he's got to find his rhythm, man. He's got to find his confidence. He really does. And I really genuinely believe he will. But the big question that I'm excited for is Obi Toppin. How is Obi Toppin going to take advantage of this opportunity? Is he going to get 30 minutes a game? Is he not? The thing about Obi Toppin that's interesting, and it's not a bad thing at all, but his play style is very reliant on a playmaker. You need to be able to have a point guard or whoever it is that finds Obi Toppin down low when he's cutting to the rim on the pick and roll or a backdoor cut. Because how many times have we seen even last year Obi Toppin being like this, hey, over here, pass me the ball. I'm wide open in the paint, and they don't give him it. Recently they've been finally feeding Obi Toppin, but now it's all up to the starting lineup and Kemba Walker and RJ Barrett and Fournier, if he's healthy, to find Obi Toppin when he's cutting to the rim, because he's a difference maker when you finally give him the ball. And of course, in transition, he's a different player. He's an absolute animal when it's transition. If you give Obi Toppin the opportunity, throw him up the alley-oop. I love everything about Obi Toppin. I'm excited to see him taking advantage of this opportunity of Randle being down with COVID. It is definitely a big deal that Randle's out. Hopefully that he's okay. We know that he has a newborn at home, so that's, the first thing you think of is his family. And of course, going into New Year's Eve, hopefully that he's okay. But we got a game tomorrow night, guys, in the Oklahoma City Thunder, a game that we should win. We should definitely beat this team, even without Julius Randle. This is a big opportunity for the Knicks to continuously deal with adversity, and Tom Thibodeau's got to, really do something with the scheme, because a lot of the offensive, plays are ran through Julius Randle, and now that he's out, what's the difference? What's going to be the change? Who's going to step up? Is it going to be Kemba Walker? Is it going to be RJ? It's going to be crazy to see what happens, man. Kelvin says RJ needs to facilitate the offense more. When he facilitates, he has good chemistry with Obi, Mitch, and Taj. I agree, man. RJ Barrett has a lot of great abilities to make the right rim read. I noticed that when he drives to the rim, it's either he's going up the layup or he's throwing the alley-oop down low. It's either if the defender stays with him, he'll throw up the alley-oop. If the defender stays with the lob threat, then he goes to the rim and finishes through contact with a layup. So this is a really big opportunity for not only Obi Toppin, but for RJ Barrett as well. And I'm excited to see what he can do, because I feel like he's coming along. He had 2 games in a row in double figures, and I'm hoping that RJ Barrett can continuously play good basketball without Randle in the mix. This is the first time that Randle's missed a game in so long. I know he missed only 1 game last year. So it's going to be crazy to see what the Knicks do. These are must-win games 100%. The Knicks got to take advantage of these games coming up. They've been doing that 3 games in a row. Let's make it 4 games in a row. There's no excuse. And then we go home against the Pacers, which should be a must-win game as well. I really feel like, the Knicks got to take advantage, and that's exactly what they're doing. They should go on a 5-game win streak. I don't feel like that's too much to ask. We got 3. Let's get 2 more. We're going up against the Thunder, who are a bad team, and the Pacers, who are a bad team. Why can't the Knicks take advantage of that? They very well should. And then I think we versed the Raptors as well. So we can't expect them to win every single game. But at the end of the day, if you want to become an Eastern Conference playoff teams, these are the games you got to take advantage of. I'm excited to see what they can do. RJ's getting back from COVID, and each game is getting more and more back into shape. I think this game will be better than yesterday. I agree, James. The game tomorrow night is going to be a big-time test for RJ to see where he's at in terms of coming back from COVID. Robert says, my guy, what's up with Randle, though? Yes, I love Obi has been plus 38 in the game. Yeah, there's no denying that Julius Randle has been struggling this year. His net rating is not good. His plus minus is not good. His efficiency, his turnovers is not good. We're seeing Julius Randle regressing. Randle was the heart and soul of this team last year. He was the reason why we're the 4th seed. He was the guy that was putting up the crazy numbers, 24, 11, and 6. With 41% from downtown, doing everything for us. And now we're seeing Julius Randle kind of trying to find himself. The one thing that I could say is a little positive about him getting COVID. There's no really good positive. Hopefully he's okay. But we did hear from Tom Thibodeau last night that Randle's a little nicked up. And we saw him get twisted around his knee. It looks like he's been bothering him a little bit. He's been, rubbing on the sideline. So maybe him getting COVID, he can rest that knee, take a break physically, and his body can get back into shape and back into, not playing, because he's played so many minutes, guys. Tom Thibodeau has him out there for like 35 minutes a game. So maybe his body can take a rest. Obviously, COVID's legit. So he's got to his body's got to recover from that, number one. But maybe this will be a good thing for his physical body, like his knees and his cardio and him being in shape. And maybe this will be a good thing for Randle. You never know. It could be a blessing in disguise. But I'm excited to see what Obi Toppin can do. I'm excited to see what RJ Barrett can do. And guys, we're going to open this up to a Jets. My mind's all over the place. We're going to open this up to a Knicks Q&A. So any questions you guys got, let me know, and I'll try to get to as many as possible. James wants to know Obi Toppin's stat predictions. I'm going to go with 17 points for Obi Toppin, 10 rebounds, a double-double, and he's going to be shooting 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from three-point land. Is that realistic? I don't know if that equals 17 points, but hey, here we go. Jeffrey says, my trade proposal, Randle, Mitch, Knox, Noel, 2022 first-round pick for Cat, Noel, and the 2023 second-round pick. I wouldn't do that. Karl Anthony Towns is a beast, but I'm not giving up on Randle just yet. I'm not on the trade Randle train just yet. People forget that we were chanting MVP for Randle last year and what he brought up to this Knicks team. I'm not hopping off the Randle train. He's still my guy for sure. I believe that he'll, get things turned around for sure. And at the same time, I'm holding him accountable. He's not playing good ball. Not at all. So hopefully he can come back from getting COVID in good shape and be all good. Any trades you see happening? Yeah, I definitely think that the Knicks will be making trades probably closer to the trade deadline. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think that the Knicks got to, make some moves, whether it's bringing guys in, whether it's moving guys somewhere else. I don't know. But you got to take advantage of the trade market whenever you can. If a player becomes available, we have a lot of draft assets. We have cap space. We have things working in our favor. So the Knicks got to take advantage of that if a player, moves up. Last time we played OKC, RJ had a career game. He had 32 points against them last year. Yeah, I remember that actually. RJ Barrett had his first 30 bomb last year against the Thunder, and RJ had, what do you have, like 35 against the Thunder earlier in the season? Or no, actually recently, like a week or two ago. So this is going to be a big test for RJ Barrett. He's got to be, the guy that really steps up and goes nuts, because let's see it. I'm down to see RJ Barrett go crazy on the Oklahoma City Thunder, no doubt. Big Shot Burks, Obi hitting some three-pointers. Yes, sir. Do you think the Knicks should keep RJ for a while? I personally think so. He has a lot of future potential, and he's very young. Yeah, 100%. I think, RJ Barrett should be the future of this team. People forget that he is the youngest player on the team. I'll repeat that. RJ Barrett is in year 3, but he's the youngest player on the team, younger than any rookie on the team, younger than any sophomore on the team. He's the youngest player on the team. Therefore, has a bright future in this league because he's going to gradually get better and better each season. It's not going to happen all of a sudden where everything's going to connect and he's going to be an all-star. I think he's one of those players that's going to gradually get better and better and better through time. And I'm really excited to see what RJ Barrett's going to do for this Knicks team. I really hope that they give him an extension after this year and RJ Barrett's here long term because I think he's going to be a guy that is going to be a good player here for a while. Kelvin is not like that trade. Way too much. No player whose team isn't in the top 3 should be traded for. I agree, Kelvin. What do you think about Deuce McBride so far, and what have you seen from him? I love everything I'm seeing from Deuce, man. We saw Deuce get opportunities when everybody had COVID a couple weeks ago, and then, of course, he had to get COVID. And the confidence that he shows is nuts. I mean, for a second-round pick, his defensive energy is through the roof. We all knew that coming in, but his offensive ability is something that's shocking, I think, more to Knicks fans. Because when we drafted him, we're like, all right, we're getting a defensive-minded, pesky point guard that's going to make life hell for all these, really good point guards in this league. He's going to match up well against them. But what he's showing us is he is way more than just a defensive guard. He's someone that has confidence of attacking to the paint, not even just three-point shooting, but sizing people up, creating his own jump shot. Like, his energy is through the roof. He crashes the rebounds. He's also a good playmaker. I'm pretty sure, he had his first turnover of his career last night. He's just a really, really good player that Knicks fans should be excited for. He should be a big piece to this future of this team because we gotta remember, guys, the foundation is built for this Knicks team for the future. The young core that we have with RJ Barrett, with Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, and Miles McBride is insane. And that is all through the draft. This Knicks team, low-key, is building this team through the draft for the future. And that's what we have to realize that, yeah, listen, we might not win the championship this year. I think we all don't think that we have a championship roster right now. And the veterans right now has been probably what's been holding this team back. Randle's been not playing well. Kemba Walker, he's either hot or cold. Alec Burks has been, probably the best veteran on the team, to be honest. Evan Fournier has been, we all know what Evan Fournier has been bringing to the table. And even throw Mitchell Robinson. I forgot about Mitch. He's another player that we drafted that's part of this young core. This foundation that we have, that we drafted, think of all the draft picks that we've had in the last 4 years. Even throwing Kevin Knox, guys. I mean, I didn't bring up Knox. Knox looked very good when he got his opportunity. Kevin Knox got a chance, and he took advantage of it, shooting the ball well from downtown. Of course, he had to get COVID. So let's throw in Kevin Knox. So the past 4 drafts, we drafted Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson was the star of that draft. He's starting and playing very good basketball as of late. Next year, we got RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett, it looks like the future of this Knicks team. The next draft class, we get Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley. We get Obi Toppin is about to get his opportunity to show what he can do as a starter. Emmanuel Quickley, we know what he's doing. He's absolutely killing it from downtown, his energy, everything about Quickley. And then this year's draft class, Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride, Jericho Sims. The Knicks front office deserves so much credit for what they've been able to do through the draft. And listen, that core right there, that foundation might not be doing everything right now. They might not be getting all the minutes that we want, but they're the future of this team. Unless the Knicks want to go the route of trading them for a star, which I really hope they don't do that. I really rather that the Knicks go the way of methodically developing this foundation and letting them just take over the franchise. Can you imagine that's what this Knicks team is going to be about? All the players that we drafted throughout the years, we develop them properly, because that's what the Knicks have not done ever. The Knicks have never drafted and developed their players year after year after year. And that's exactly what we have the opportunity to do right now. All these guys are young players. And when's the last time we had a young core like this in RJ, in all these players that I keep mentioning? It's really, really refreshing that we got these many players through the draft that's playing this good together. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what this young core is going to be doing for the future. Kelvin says there aren't any players who everyone keeps mentioning in trade talks that have their current team balling. So what they're going to do for us, they aren't going to do on the current team. We good. I agree, Kelvin. I don't really think we got to break up this team. Exactly what the Warriors did. Build through the draft, build that identity, and hopefully we can do just that. I mean, we have the foundation. It's not like we have to start now and all right, hopefully we can get some good picks this year. No, we got 4 straight years of good drafting from the Knicks front office. And Scott Perry is the reason for that because he's been here for those 4 years. Leon Rose the past 2 drafts. And let's do it, man. Let's do it. I love the young core that we got. Can this core be similar to the Spurs or Warriors? What do you think? Listen, obviously those two are, the top of the top. They're championship franchises, and their foundation that they built through the draft are teams that won it all. And obviously that's the goal here. We want to win the championship eventually. Listen, I think that it's possible. I think that if the Knicks give these kids the right opportunity, like, let's just think about a full, non-veteran lineup and see what it'll look like. Just the kids, right? Point guard, Emmanuel Quickly, shooting guard, Quentin Grimes, small forward, RJ Barrett, power forward, Obi Toppin, center, Mitchell Robinson, and then Deuce McBride will be the sixth man off the bench. And then we got Kevin Knox off the bench. And these are all players that the Knicks drafted I'm just talking about. And, and then you could fill out the roster with other – and then Jericho Sims as well off the bench, backing up Mitch. That sounds like a really fun team. Does it not? Does it not sound like a fun, energetic team right there? I don't know. I feel like obviously we will never have that because we need veterans to balance everything out. But the foundation that we have is really, really promising for the future of this team. And Knicks fans should be really excited about the future. We got some diamond in the rough. How many Knicks draft picks won titles playing on other teams? A lot. People are too impatient. These young guns are going to take little time to develop. Yeah, we cannot expect rookies to go out there and just, in year 2 players to just become all-stars right away. It's not really what happened. Julius Randle took 6 years to really become an all-star, and obviously now he's struggling, but we're hoping that he can really turn the corner. Hopefully with Randle no handle out, we can get a lot of pick and rolls and a lot of ball movement. I'm hoping that the Knicks can take advantage of any opportunity. Obi Toppin can step in for Randle and play good ball because, the bench unit for the Knicks plays inspiring basketball. The starters don't, it's that simple. And now it's going to be a little intertwined with all these players out. We don't know the extent of Fournier's injury because that came out of nowhere. He was a late scratch. I don't know if that was just a back-to-back. They don't want to test his ankle. But the Knicks really got to get their starting lineup cooking soon because it's bad. And now with Randle out, it worries me for the longevity part because I was hopeful that they can gain chemistry as the season goes on and Randle can get out of this funk. But we'll see what happens, man. Do you think that they will be starting Obi? I remember last year when Randle was out, Obi didn't start. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is it's possible that Tibbs does not want to break up the bench. But at the end of the day, since Noel is on the COVID list, I don't think it's possible for them to do that because, what's probably going to happen is they're going to slide Obi Toppin into the starting lineup, and then Kevin Knox is going to be the slide into the rotation as the backup power forward, and Taj Gibson is going to be the center with the bench. I think that's what's going to happen because if you slide Taj Gibson to the starting lineup, then there's no backup big man. There's no Nerlens Noel and Jericho Sims are both on the COVID protocol list. So Taj Gibson's got to stay on the bench and back up Mitch, and then Obi Toppin starting power forward, and then Kevin Knox sliding up and being the backup power forward. I think that's what the rotation should be. But hey, I'm not Tom Thibodeau, so I don't know what he's going to do. I feel like Obi's going to ball. He plays with so much energy, and he's going to play even harder as a starter. Granted, he starts. I really hope so, man. I think Obi has a great opportunity in front of him. We've seen him take so much steps in such a limited play time this year. Now we get to see what he can do when he gets all the playing time. When the bench plays like a team better than the starters, that's not good. Tibbs has to reevaluate what's not working to start. I agree, man. We'll love Knox to get some burn with Julius out. Yeah, for sure. I think that if I'm Thibodeau, if I'm him, I'm giving Kevin Knox the opportunity to play off the bench. Like I just said, Obi as a starter, Knox off the bench, and we'll see what we got. I agree with that. It's going to be crazy to see what the Knicks can do without Julius Randle. We got to take advantage of this light schedule. Guys, if you're new to the stream, don't forget to smash that like button. We got 25 likes with just under 40 people watching. So if you're not, smash that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that if you do. And subscribe to the channel if you're new to Knicks Media. I post recap videos. I go live a lot talking about the Knicks. It's been a really interesting season, to say the least. A lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups. But the reality is, we're one game under 500. We're right there. We're like 1.5 games behind the 6th seed in the East. So, hey, we're right in the thick of things. We got to keep stringing these wins together, get hot, and Alec Burks will carry us to the promised land. Don't worry, guys. Alec Burks will carry us. What's my record prediction? I hate this question, low key, because it's so hard to predict. I would like them to be a couple games over 500. I think that would put them in the playoffs. You know, I don't know the exact amount of wins I would predict, but like, say hypothetically, so 41 and 41 would be 500. So what's 44 wins? Like 41? No, it's so tough. 44 and 38. I don't know, man. I'm really hoping that the Knicks can stay over 500, get over 500, and stay over there and finish the season with that. That's me being optimistic. I don't really know. I'm not gonna predict them to fall apart and collapse and miss the playoffs, because that would be pretty bad. Hope the Knicks win streak taking your mind off the Jets, my guy. Hey, man, Jets coming off a dub, so I'm happy about my Jets for at least this week, but it won't last because we're versing the Buccaneers this week. But yeah, it's been rough. When the Jets have been stinking up and the Knicks been stinking it up, I'm like, wow, both of my teams are not doing anything to benefit my mental health right now. Randle needs a break and will come back better, just like Kemba until last night. Yeah, I honestly think this break could help out Randle a little bit because he is a little nicked up in his knee. So maybe that will get him everything going. Joel says 51 and 31. The Knicks will get their groove. Let's go. All right, Joel. I love the optimism, baby. Let's do it. Love the optimism. Nothing wrong with that. I can honestly see the team doing better if the bench unit were to start and Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker rotate. Do not please. Yeah, I mean, we know that Thibodeau is not shy of giving players like Kemba Walker DNPs. I don't think he's going to do it again, especially with D Rose out for a while. I think Kemba Walker is like solidified in the rotation. But I don't know. It's going to be crazy to see what happens without Randle out. It's going to be really, really interesting to see, man. Really interesting. Kelvin, I'm sticking with my prediction. We'll figure it out. 58 was my original prediction. 58 wins. That is something that Kelvin, that would be ridiculous. And I hope that happens. I really do. If we can get 47 wins, I'd be jumping for joy, to be honest, based on how this Knicks season has gone so far this season. Listen, guys, this is a good question. Do you think Thibs is long-term coach for the Knicks? Listen, I see a lot of interesting takes where Knicks fans are like, fire Thibs, fire Tom Thibodeau. And I'm like, okay, guys, I understand you might be tired of the stubbornness of Tom. He's, playing the veterans a little too much. He's not giving the young guys some opportunity, but he is giving the young guys opportunities when they're presented themselves. We have to realize what Tom Thibodeau has done to this organization real quick. Tom Thibodeau, first year as a Knicks head coach with no expectations, turns Julius Randle and turns this entire roster and this entire team into the 4th seed in the NBA. 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. And he is the coach of the year in year number 1. Now, that was last year, right? That was the past. We can't really hold on to that and say that he's going to be the future just because of 1 year. But what he did last year gives me a lot of reason to believe that he'll figure things out. Because if you guys remember last year, guys, the Knicks were right in the same exact situation. We were 4 games under 500 around this time. Everything was like going good, going bad, winning games, losing close games, losing games we should be winning. And then all of a sudden, the Knicks got hot. They go on a 9-game winning streak late in April that propels them into the playoffs. So I think that a Tom Thibodeau coach, he kind of always tries to, adapt on the fly. He tries to find the right rotations. It takes him a while to find the right rhythm. And I think he's going to really find his rhythm for this Knicks team in the second half. I really think we're going to become, a top team in the East. So I do think Tom Thibodeau is a long-term coach for the Knicks. I really believe that. And it's all onto the players to execute the system because we saw that it works last year. I'm a full-on Tom Thibodeau believer, as you can tell. Let's see. Anything else you guys want to talk about? There's obviously so much we can talk about when it comes to this Knicks team, whether it's Obi Toppin getting an opportunity, Alec Burks turning into Michael Jordan. There's a lot of things going on with the Knicks right now. We're on a 3-game win streak, and we got Knicks fans upset. And I understand. Trust me, I understand why some Knicks fans are not satisfied. But can you imagine if the Knicks would not be playing well and we were losing these games and we were still 4 games or even like 5 games under 500? We're 1 game under 500. We're on a 3-game winning streak. We're winning ugly, but a win is a win. And that's all that matters to me is building a chemistry. And that bench unit is so fun to watch. I'm excited to see what they do. But now the question is, Obi Toppin won't be with the bench anymore. So that's going to be crazy. Kevin Knox might have to slide in. Alec Burks greater than Michael Jordan. It's not even close. Hard to argue this. Hard to argue that. RJ needs to go back to shooting guard so he can play bully ball. Yeah, I always feel like RJ plays better at the 2. I agree, man. I definitely agree. Margaret says, I'm sorry to say this. Randle out. I think we will see RJ step up. I really hope RJ steps up. Not only this is I said this earlier in the stream, but not only is this a good opportunity for Obi Toppin to take advantage of a new opportunity, but it's a good opportunity for RJ Barrett to be the leader of the starting unit of carrying the load offensively, playmaking wise. Kemba Walker as well. I think it's going to be all about those two. And if Evan Fournier is healthy, those 3 guys are going to really have to step up. With Obi Toppin playing now in the starting lineup as well, I think this is a good opportunity for RJ Barrett to step up big time. Last year, the Knicks went on a 9-game winning streak. Then right before the playoffs, we went into a bit of a funk and choked in the playoffs away. Yep, that is true, David. RJ, Obi, and Knox needs to step up. We needed this. Yeah, Knox is going to get some playing time off the bench, and Obi and RJ will be playing together in that starting lineup. And that game will be tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. Whew, it's going to be crazy to see what happens, guys. Yeah, Luka Samanic, I see Kelvin wanted me to talk about. He's been killing it in the G League. Luka Samanic has been dominating, playing like a man amongst boys out there. Is he injured still? I know that he got hurt, but it'll be crazy to see if he ever gets any playing time for the Knicks this year. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I want to go live, talk about the news that the Knicks are on a 3-game winning streak, and RJ Barrett is going to be the next big thing in these next string of games. That's my prediction. And Julius Randle's on the COVID list. So those are some interesting conversations that the Knicks have to look themselves in the mirror. What's going on with the starting lineup? How can they fix this? Randle's not going to be there, so it's going to be crazy to see what happens. Hopefully that the Knicks can really, take advantage of the schedule like they have been doing the past couple of games. We're now on a 3-game win streak. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 5. Let's make it 6. Let's go on another 3-game win streak. Why not? Why not? Right? Why not? So, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up button if you guys are not already. I'll greatly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And that's going to do it for the stream, guys. I appreciate all you guys in the chat tuning in, asking questions. The Knicks community is great. We got a great fan base, a passionate fan base that has a lot of opinions, but always a pleasure talking Knicks basketball with you guys. Obi Toppin's about to take flight. Deuce, Grimes, all these guys. Let's go, Knicks. And I'll catch you guys in my next